Hi there, my name is Caitlin Bandy and this is my channel BandysBooks. Today we are here with a video from a recent trip to Capitol Reef National Park, which is located in Utah. It was mine and Oz's first time when going to this park. It's been on my list for quite a while and I was so excited to finally get there. So I really hope that you enjoy seeing some of the clips from the trip. Interspersed with that are also some clips of me reading and discussing the book that I'm reading throughout the trip. And also at the end of the video, there's some little free library finds in, I want to say like close to St. George and some small towns. I always try to make some time to hit up a few new little free libraries on the way, bring some books to donate and see if I find anything cool myself. And so anyways, I hope that you enjoy this video of the trip. I hope you enjoy getting to see some of the hikes and the nature that we experienced. I did notice that I wasn't the best about consistently shooting like discussion of what was going on. So you'll see editing Caitlin pop up, which was obviously not the same Caitlin that was on the trip. So Oz and I work on Saturdays. So we got into work at like 7 a.m., 6 a.m. so that we could finish work like at 3 and get on the road because Capitol Reef is about a 5.5, 6 hour drive from here in Las Vegas. So our plan was to leave like around 3, have some time to eat really quick in St. George, and then get into Capitol Reef around like 9 or 10. Pretty much went that way. You'll see us upon arrival at Capitol Reef, exhausted. We were so beat. It was about a 16-hour day by the time that we arrived, so we were both just like absolutely beat. You'll see a little bit of the trip on the way there, and yeah, from there I think it picks up and is pretty explanatory, self-explanatory. So I hope you enjoy the vacation video. Whenever we have to pass through St. George, we always stop at Handel's for ice cream. If you are blessed to know what Handel's is, then good for you. If you don't know, Handel's is a homemade ice cream shop and they have the best flavors. So we always stop and get milkshakes or ice cream or something. We'll do this on the way home as well because we only get it once in a while. We just made it to Capitol Reef. We're fucking exhausted. It is 10:30 Utah time, so 9:30 Las Vegas time, which isn't that late actually, but we got to work at 7 this morning, worked from 7 to 3:30, jumped straight in the car, and then drove almost 6 hours to get here. It looks really cool. It's so quiet. You can hear the river, you can hear the wind rustling through the trees and the grass. It's a really nice campsite. Honestly, I think this is gonna be stunning. Like, I cannot wait to wake up and check out the area around us because like just the outlines of the mountains coming in and everything was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
So anyways, we're gonna put up our tent and get some sleep, and we'll check back first thing in the morning when we get up, show you what everything looks like and, you know, about our day. Morning YouTube. It is day 1 on our camping trip. It's about 9 this morning. We woke up what, around 7:30 or so. Finally, I mean, I woke up at sunrise rather, and watched the sunrise and then fell back to sleep for a bit. So I think we were finally out of bed around 7:38. And we're just gonna head into town real quick, grab some coffee, get some water, get a little bit of gas, clean the windshield on our car. And then we're gonna stop at the visitor center, get a map of the park, and then do some exploring. It is stunning. We couldn't see most of this last night when we came in, but holy crap, is it beautiful. Like all this beautiful red rock, and it's like striated with oranges and whites, so the color really pops, and all the green trees. It's pretty spectacular. 10 out of 10 would recommend so far. What do you think, Oz?
That's good. Already went to one of the extreme side of the parks down there, and we couldn't go further because it's off-roading, so now we're hungry.
So you'll see some video of the park as we explore it. I hope you enjoy it. into town real quick to get us some coffee from Dark Sky Coffee Roasters, and we also got some bagels. So now we're gonna head back into the park and get started with our adventures. Good?
See you later.
Hey there, so we're checking out Panorama Point. It's gorgeous up here. So many rocks to climb on, and you can see all the formations, like a huge view of the park. Let's see, you can see it kind of behind me there. Pretty stunning. I think we're gonna go drive down to the Goosenecks next. So we just went to visit Panorama Point, and we're gonna head up and visit the Goosenecks viewpoint real quick. I had heard that the road to the Goosenecks was shut down on the weekdays, but still open on the weekends. So we want to make sure we get it in today because Sunday and tomorrow it's supposed to be closed. It's basically a massive canyon on kind of a similar scale to like the depth of the Grand Canyon that was carved out by a river. I think it's called Sulphur Creek, and it's like estimated that it took 6 million years or so to carve the canyon that exists now. It's supposed to be really stunning, so we'll go see that. You'll see some video clips in a minute.
And we're coming for the sunset.
Oh yeah, and then over by the Goosenecks is Sunset Point, which is a panorama of the park, and then the sun sets behind the mountain ridge. So I think we're gonna come back up here for sunset.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be gorgeous.
Yeah. So far, this park is amazing. I'm really honestly not sure why Capitol Reef doesn't have visitors like Zion or Bryce.
And I'm pretty happy that people don't know much about it, because if it's like Zion or Joshua Tree or something like that, it would be too crowded. And so far, no garbage, no bags in the roads, nothing. It's super clean, super neat. It's very organized. It's amazing. It's good. I like it that people don't know about it, so let's keep it that way.
Okay, so apparently keep it a secret, guys, just between us and you. But this is a pretty cool park. So if you happen to be up in the Utah area and you're okay with about 5-hour drive, because you could come in from Salt Lake, I think it's like 3 or 4 hours from Salt Lake, or you come up from Vegas, it's about 5 hours. But it's a cool drive. Like, it's a pretty cool area. You get to see a lot of like small Utah towns and stuff. So really enjoying the trip so far. So we're up at the Goosenecks viewpoint. You can kind of see there's a big old canyon behind me. We're gonna head over to the official viewing point and see what we can see. When we visit national parks is we like to drive the main roads and kind of check out everything, get oriented with the park, kind of get an idea of how everything is laid out. So we're driving what is the 24, I believe. Yeah, the 24, which is the main road that goes through a large portion of the park. And then we're gonna check out Nottam Bullfrog Road in a minute, which goes up to a remote part of the park. There's some slot canyons up there that look like they're pretty cool for hiking. And I guess it's one of the less visited parts of the park. After we check out the Nottam Bullfrog part, we're gonna check some of the slot canyons, maybe hike around a little bit, and then we're gonna head back down the 24 to the main part of the park where like all of the short day hikes are, all of the petroglyphs, all the, you know, the cool things that you come to the national park for, the really like more heavily visited area. And then tomorrow we're gonna head down to the south part of the park, which is another area that's I think a little less visited. We did drive down there this morning, but we didn't know what was in the area, so we didn't do any hikes. There's a couple hikes we want to check out tomorrow morning before we head home.
You're recording?
Yep. So we're in the Sheets Gulch, which is a canyon that eventually turns into a slot canyon, or I guess I should say a wash that turns into a slot canyon. It's like a pretty significant hike if you do the whole thing, and it's fairly warm today. We don't have a lot of hardcore hiking gear, so we're just gonna wander down a little ways, just walk till we feel comfortable and then turn around and walk back, see if we can find a little bit of the slot canyon. Either way, it's really cool out here. So this is off of Not Bullfrog Road, which is the very back portion of the park. It's apparently the least visited area, so it's very remote and very quiet. We've only seen like 2 cars besides us the whole time, and there's lots of slot canyons back here, which slot canyons are my favorite. And since it's bright and sunny, no chance of rain, we thought we'd go check a few out. So you saw some clips of me and Oz in the backside of the park in search of some slot canyons. Spoiler alert, we did not find the slot canyons. Apparently we found out that they're like 4 or 5 miles out into this canyon, and we really weren't prepared for a super long hike because we were only there for the day. We were trying to get in a lot of little short hikes, and so we decided that it would be smarter for us to just turn around. We didn't have like nearly enough water for a desert hike, which I know it was technically not desert, but that's what it felt like. We were hiking in like 100+ degree weather in a dry riverbed and no shade. So coming from Las Vegas, we know how important it is to bring adequate water on hikes, and we didn't want to get too far out with not enough water. We did go back into the park and pursue a couple easier hikes. So you'll see some clips from Hickman Bridge, which is one of the main scenic hikes within the park. It's really, really beautiful. You'll see the natural bridge and like the canyon that it's in, and it's a relatively easy hike. I mean, certainly there's like a little bit of, you know, incline, but it wasn't like a super difficult one. And after that, we head over to a boardwalk where you can walk along this boardwalk and see native carvings in the walls. So definitely a cool part of the park, 2 really easy like little walk / hikes. And then because it was so hot, we decided to splash in the river. Hey there, so we just finished the Hickman Bridge Trail, and now we're just walking this walkway here. It's just a short little walkway, and there are native petroglyphs. This, I believe, was a Paiute, and I believe this was a Paiute area, and so there are hieroglyphs or petroglyphs, I can never remember what they are, but they're carved into the rock formations here. It's pretty cool. Some of them are really high up, so it's impressive. It's been a long day of driving around the park, hiking, being out in the hot sun. It's been about 90 degrees most of the day. We're sunburned, we're a little bit dehydrated, exhausted. So we found this nice little area. There's like a little park here. It's just a big flat grassy area, a bunch of tables, and the river's right here. You can see it behind me. So we hung up our hammocks to relax for a couple hours in the shade while the sun went down. And I brought my book with me. I am reading The Anomaly by Michael Rutger. This was published in June 2018. I found this in a local free library in San Diego. I am really enjoying this, and the reason I brought this on this trip is because I figured that this would be the perfect kind of book for camping. It is about a character named Nolan, who is sort of an adventurer, explorer type. He is like somebody that believes in conspiracy theories or like odd
stuff. So like he's like out trying to prove Sasquatch is real or prove that there were ancient aliens, things like that, right? He's like a little bit out there on the spectrum. And he has a show on YouTube that he's created all about these like unusual things that he thinks has happened. So he is on an expedition in the Grand Canyon to find Kincaid's cave, and supposedly this cave has got some interesting stuff going on. So he wants to find it, explore it, and confirm the existence of this cave and cavern. So in the story so far, they have hiked down into the Grand Canyon, boated out, him and his team, and they've actually found a cavern, and they're exploring it to see if it is actually Kincaid's cavern. I have a feeling that this is going to go kind of in the spooky direction, like maybe not haunted or ghosts necessarily, but there's something just that seems off about this cavern that they found. And so the combined element of the outdoorsiness, like being in a national park and reading about someone who wanted to adventure in the Grand Canyon, that felt appropriate. And then the potential spooky element or like something's amiss element, I think is going to be great as I get further in this book, like tonight when the lights are out and, you know, I'm reading by the fire and I get to enjoy like that creepy element. So I'm pretty stoked with the selection so far. I'm about a third of the way through. I think I'm at about 90 pages in. So we'll see where this goes. I'm just going to enjoy this a little bit more, and then we're off to go hike and find the sunset. So everywhere you turn in this park, there are deer. You can see that there's a couple behind me. There's 2 bucks, young bucks, because they don't have a huge rack yet. But it's pretty cool. And they're like used to humans, so they kind of, I mean, they don't come right up to you or anything, but they don't like panic when they see you either. So you actually get to see them eating and grazing and interacting. Definitely recommended to stay away from them because especially these guys will butt the shit out of you. But otherwise, pretty cool just seeing them out, you know, wandering around. Do have to be careful driving at night here because they do walk out into the streets, and if you're unfamiliar with deer in the street, they see light, they panic, they freeze, they total your car. Bye. Tri-tip, Spanish rice, salad. Not bad for camping. Good morning. We are here on our last morning in Capitol Reef. We are checking out the Gifford House this morning. This is a historic building. Apparently they sell fruit pie and salsa and jams and stuff like that. So we thought we would just stop by and check it out real quick. Here. Okay, hold on a second. Let me know when you're ready.
I am recording already.
Okay. So we're at the Gifford House and we stopped in for some pie. So you can get these little personal pies. They had strawberry rhubarb, cherry, peach, mixed berry, and apple, I believe. And so we went with strawberry rhubarb because Oz has never had rhubarb before. So this is a new experience for him. We also picked up a couple things that they make here. So I got some rhubarb jam and some apple butter. I believe that they grow the apples and rhubarb and stuff locally. And then got some cinnamon apple syrup that is from Pioneer Valley, which is close by. And we got some creamed honey, which if you've never had creamed honey, is a lot of fun. They just whip it until it gets more viscous and it becomes kind of spreadable like a butter. This one is, I think, an apricot creamed honey. So I've got lots of sweet stuff for our toast and stuff at home now. And we're gonna go ahead and dig into our strawberry rhubarb pie a la mode. Pretty good. Nice and tangy rhubarb, sweet strawberries. Crust is sugared, so it's got a nice little crunch to it. Balances out good with the vanilla. Alright, so we are on a little off-road trail to the end of the park. I believe this is the southern end of the park. We're going to a trail called Capitol Gorge, and it has two little offshoots. One goes to the Pioneer Register, or the Mormon Register, where all of the Mormon settlers signed their names in the cliff wall. So it's equated to like ancient graffiti, or not ancient, but old graffiti. And then there's also some natural tanks down at the very end of the trail. This is a short little trail. I think it's supposed to be about a mile total out and then a mile back. So we're gonna go out, hike it, get a little bit of quick hiking in before we gotta get on the road and head back to Vegas. This is a really cool drive though. The canyon walls are just stunning. So we have walked down the valley with all the Mormon carvings, the Mormon settlers, and now we are doing a little bit of scramble upwards to find some water tanks that are supposed to be here in the end of this canyon somewhere. It's really pretty. This is like probably the most picturesque hike we've done here so far. Yeah?
Oh yeah, it's pretty cool. It looks like there is pictures and writing things all over the place, and big walls with natural things on it. It's gorgeous.
We've done. This is the natural tanks. So what happens here is snow packs up on the mountaintops, and then as the snow melts and the rain comes, it comes down through these little gullies, and these waterfalls create these little divot tanks, and then water stays here year round, which supports the life that's out in the mountains, the goats, you know, things like that. And then when the water starts to overflow, this becomes a waterfall, and the water continues down into the river wash that we walked through earlier. That's a deeper one, I think.
Yeah.
So we are just at the end of the hike. We saw the Mormon Register, we saw the tanks, and we're hiking back out of this lovely canyon. The views are super stunning. Honestly, for the fact that this is such a short hike and so easy, it's like a must-do in this park. Stunning, stunning, stunning. So we're stopping in town for a minute. We're gonna grab some lunch, probably like a burger, and head on our way. There is a place called Slacker's Burger Joint. They do burgers, chicken sandwiches, milkshakes, that kind of stuff. And we're starving after all of our hiking and healthy eating and stuff. So we're like, let's get some big fatty greasy burgers.
How is it? So our adventures at the national park have come to an end. It's about a 5.5 hour drive back to Vegas. It's about 2:30 in the afternoon. So we're gonna head down. I'm gonna kind of just take it slow, check out some little free libraries, see what we can see. Stop in Cedar City probably for a snack and some gas, and then just boogie down to Vegas from there. So it's been a good trip. We really enjoyed ourselves. Got to do a lot of outdoorsy stuff. Got to spend some time relaxing in hammocks. Had an adventure in a part of Utah that we haven't been to before.
Yeah, beautiful.
How'd you feel about it, Oz?
Beautiful out here. You have a chance to have 3-4 days out here. Do it.
There you go.
Go everywhere you can. Do whatever you can do.
So anyways, now we get to enjoy this beautiful drive back. When we drove up here the other night, it was dark, so we didn't get to see any of the drive up, really. So we're enjoying all the views on the way back now. Lots of green pastures and the mountains in the background and stuff. So we'll check in if we find any cool little free libraries or anything like that. I really hope that you enjoyed the video, enjoyed seeing Capitol Reef National Park. If you've never visited, I highly recommend it. And I think Oz definitely recommends it too. You can see that he's pretty enthusiastic about it throughout the video. I had a great time. It was like the perfect balance of hiking and reading and checking out little free libraries and just having a good time. It was a nice break. It was a super fast trip because we literally drove up late Saturday night and then came back like midday on Monday. I certainly wish we'd had more than just Sunday to spend there, but it was worth it for us. We really try to use every day together that we have to the maximum. And so for us, it was a lot of fun getting up there, even if we both came home super, super exhausted. I was so exhausted, in fact, that I forgot to shoot like a closeout for this video at all. So that being said, if you like seeing our vacation vlogs and like where we mix books and stuff into it, hit the thumbs up button and comment down below what is one place that you would love to visit if you could snap your fingers and go anywhere. And of course, if you're not already subscribed to this channel, please hit the subscribe button so we can see each other again in future videos. Thank you so much for joining. My name is Caitlin Bandy and this is my channel BandysBooks. See you next time.